Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stock Market Millionaire. My name is Robert Roy. I will be your host, and I'm the founder of WealthBuildersHQ.com. Welcome to episode number 8, which is called Creating a Winning Trading System Utilizing My Strategy Creation System, SCS. So the very first thing we have to talk about is what is an options trading system? See, some will look at it and say, well, if I buy a call option, that's a system. It's not. Well, what if I trade a strangle? Is that a system? Well, you may use that as the vehicle to trade, but it's not necessarily what an options trading system is. A system is where we build the components out to that trade so we can identify all the various pieces of the puzzle, know what we're looking to do, and generate a strategy, hopefully a winning strategy, a winning system from that. Right? So now, why do some option strategies work where others don't? It's a great question. Why do some option strategies work where others don't? And again, if you're just looking at the strategy, you have to be careful. Does buying calls work? Yes. All the time? No. For everybody? No. They work because they're part of a system. They don't work because they're not part of a system. Right? Now, can somebody get lucky and not have a system? Yes. Can somebody be that good that they get away with it and not have a system? You know, I guess you can. But I want you to think about how many McDonald's restaurants, yes, they are restaurants, whether you like the food or not, they're restaurants. How many McDonald's have no business plan? We're just going to wing it. I have no idea what it costs me to make a fry, but we're going to sell it for 99 cents. Of course they know how much it costs them. It's part of their business plan. This is part of your business plan. Oh, but Rob, I do this on the side. Man, I work a full-time job. I'm not looking at... Hold on a second. If you're looking to generate wealth, you certainly don't want to do this from the standpoint of, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm not going to plan for anything. I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to see how it feels inside. Should I take this trade or get out of this trade or not? All the wrong reasons for it. If you want a winning options trading system, then you need to build out the strategy is a piece of it, but you need to build that system out, including strategy and the other components, which I'll share with you in just a few moments here. So what goes into building a winning trading system? Think about it. You know, if it was that easy, everybody would do it, right? So it's not a simple process, a simple task. I have built trading systems that I have spent 18 months on and scrapped because I couldn't get them to work, no matter what I did. Thought I was onto something, couldn't figure it out, tossed it away. Some I may have spent less time on, come back a few months, few years later, figured something else out, made an adjustment, a change, and was able to trade those. But they're not normally something that happens overnight. It's something that requires some testing. So the first thing you have to ask yourself is, what time frame are you going to trade? In other words, are you looking for day trading options strategies? Or are you looking for swing trading option strategies? What one do you want? See, that will make a huge difference. Are you in and out the same day? Or are you carrying overnight? And there are goods and bads to both. In and out every day, I don't have to worry about the market whipsawing one day to the next, up 400, down 200 the day after. All of that goes away. All my fear and concern of that goes away. But now I run into an issue where I'm only allowed to do a certain amount of trades unless I have an account over $25,000. Well, okay, but Rob, if I remove the margin component, and before we get too crazy into pattern day trading rules, right, and I start having your head spin on you, let me go through briefly what that means, what it represents. Pattern day trader rule says if you have an account with under $25,000 in it, you can only do 3 intraday trades in a 5-day period, 5 business days. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, 5 business days. If you do more than that, you're going to get your hand slapped from the broker. And it is the broker. It's not a regulatory agency. You don't get a ticket. But the ticket, I guess maybe you do get one. The ticket you could consider as they're going to lock you out of trading for 30, 60, 90 days, whatever it is. They're going to penalize you for stepping over or making a mistake by going into that 4th trade. But Rob, I've heard that I can get around that if I don't have a margin account. You can. So let's say that you have $2,000 to your name. If you have a margin account and you buy an option today and you sell it today, Well, that $2,000 is instantly back in your account to use, even though options don't settle until the next day. But because it's margin, they're lending you that money back again. No fees for it, so you're not paying anything for that. It's a benefit of having the margin account. Take the margin account away, and now when you spend your $2,000, that's it. You're done, baby. For the day, you're done. No more trading. So I'm not saying that one is better or worse than the other. You've got to decide. But I want you to start where you're at. Don't look at this and say, well, I can't trade before I have $25,000. Doesn't work that way. If you had $500 to your name and you're ready, then you trade with $500. Now, I'm going to tell you, go out and bust your buns to save up whatever you can. Go work in dominoes, shovel snow, mow lawns, whatever you have to do to get out there to try to build. Go sell stuff. Go sell something. Go on eBay, go on Craigslist, go on LetGo or whatever other apps are out there these days, right? And sell things that maybe you don't need, right? Is there a service that you can do? Are you an electrician? If you are, you're probably doing it anyway already, right? But do side work, right? Are you a handyman? Listen, I'm not trying to tell you to go find more jobs. I'm trying to tell you the reasoning of not having enough cash to be able to trade is not a good reason. Either start with where you're at or go figure out a way that you can generate some more cash. Plain and simple. Go work in Home Depot. Go work in a department store at Christmas time wrapping gifts. I don't care what it is, right? Figure out a way to do that and build your account up. Get above the $25,000 and never have to worry about that again. Now, with that being said, you may not be there today, and that's okay. Don't ever take it that it's bad if you're not there. You are where you are, and that's where you'll start, all right? But day trading gets you out of the whipsaws. A swing trader, which I would much prefer, is a swing trader. But there are times in the market, like at the time of this recording, where a day trading is a more common trade because we're seeing, a couple of days up, couple of days down, and we get our runs 4, 5, 8 days in a direction, and then it flops the other way. But there's not a lot of consistency in the market. And we're hitting all-time highs at this point in our markets right now. So markets are definitely rocking. But rocking is the word. The boat is rocking along the way. A lot of people are falling off the boat and drowning in the ocean because of the way the markets are moving on us at this point. Swing trading, you have to carry overnight, right? I do less swing trades than I do day trades. I look for bigger profits, bigger rates of return because I'm looking to hold over a longer period of time. I'm not trying to make 10, 20, 30 cents, $1 on my option. I may be trying to make $3, $5, $8, $15, $20 per share on my option. All right, so huge difference. But I like swing trading option strategies better than day trading option strategies. But I trade both. Why? Because that's part of my system. It's part of my system. I'm an options trader through and through. Everything I do for the most part is options trading, right? In the equities markets, it's options trading. I just want to make sure that I've got the right strategy built into my system for my trade. All right, so what about cash required to trade? We talked about that. There is about getting more, but there's not a minimum, with the exception of what the broker requires. And there are some brokers that do have a $2,000 or $5,000 minimum. Many of them have waived that now. Go look at, search for the top options brokers out there, and you'll find lists of the best options, and search for your year. Right? So if it was 1999, you would search best options brokers 1999. All right? What about asset classes to trade? I talked about options. You could trade equities. You could trade futures. You could trade Forex. You could trade mutual funds if that's what you choose. Hopefully you don't. But if you chose to, you could choose that. But you chose to choose that. Wow, lots of choosing going on. You need to have that as part of your trading plan, as part of your system that you're building out. Strategy creation system. For me, it's equity options on stocks that have weekly options on them, which at the time of the recording is just under 500 companies-ish have weekly options on them. If you can't find one out of 500, we got a problem. Don't worry about the other 9,500 stocks that are out there, right? Or the 5,000 non-weekly optionable stocks. You don't need all of that. Just give me the weeklies. That's mine. Now that's me. That is in my system, right? So Rob, how do we do this? How do we build this out? Well, dun, 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 if I had balloons and horns going off, introducing to you strategy creation system. Now there are 4 words, and you probably want to write these down. And once you do, you're going to think it's silly. You really are. You're going to go, really? That was it? Write them down, and we'll talk about them. The very first one in strategy creation system is identification. Identify. The second one is enter. Third is manage. Fourth is exit. See? Sounds simple, but it's the hardest thing you will ever do to create a winning options trading system. Period. Hands down. Right? Identify. What are the rules for you to identify a candidate that even fits? I already said, for me, as an example, one of my rules, it has to have weekly options on it. It has to have, for one of my systems, a wildest average true range of at least $4. That means it moves on average between high and low at least $4 a day. I don't want something that just kind of going sideways there, right? They call it flatline in the medical industry. Right? My daughter's an RN. Flatline, okay? I don't want that as a stock. I'm looking for something that's got some movement to it. Now, I'm not looking for whipsaw. I'm not looking for gaps all over the place, right? But I do want some movement, right? I look for price range. I look at the options themselves. How expensive are the options? All right? Well, does that really matter for identify? Sure. For that candidate to make it on my list, it does. Now, you have to find candidates that fit your criteria. And our power option plays, one of the premier services that we offer here at wealthbuildershq.com, we trade companies like Amazon that are, $2,000, $3,000 companies. Google, Booking, Amazon, Chipotle, under 2,000 right now, but and hasn't been to 2,000 yet, but maybe by the time you hear this, who knows? But companies like that, but we also trade much lower price stocks as well. We trade the United Healthcares of the world and the Home Depots of the world and the Apples and the Facebooks and so forth, right? We trade all of those. But they fit a criteria to get entered into my system, right? Once I've identified candidates, right, as a starting point, I now need to identify an entry signal. What says to me, this is where I hit enter to get into the trade. I'm ready. I want to buy it now. Hit the button over and over and over again, right? Hit enter. Once I've entered into the trade, now I need to manage it. Am I exiting the trade all at once? Am I scaling out of the trade? Am I setting up a trailing stop? Am I setting up hard stops? How and when do I adjust my stops if I'm scaling in and out of the trade? You see all the pieces I'm talking about? Every component of that trade needs to be laid out in there. That's the management piece of it. You're in. Now, how do you manage it? Ultimately, finally, is the exit component. How do I get out of the trade? What's the reason? I was looking for a $4 move. I got to $3.90. Is that enough? Am I going to pull the trigger and call it a day? Yeah, I am. All right, what about if bad news comes out on the company? What if I'm holding it longer than I thought and now we're coming up on earnings, which was episode 7. If you haven't listened to that one, you should, of our podcast, The Stock Market Millionaire, on earnings, right? Identify, enter, manage, exit. Sounds simple. It is the most complex thing you've ever done. That is why we've put together complete trading systems for our students to use. That's why myself and Brandon and Ryan and Tony and Amelia and all of us call, and everybody at wealthbuildershq.com give trade setups with identifications of how we go about and trade these. And then you make the decision, does it fit your personal risk profile for you to take that trade? You see, you can take my strategy creation system, but that's like saying you're going to take my baseball glove and you'll catch as good or as bad as I do on the field. It doesn't work that way. Just because you're using my glove, that doesn't mean you're as good or better or worse than I, right? It just means you have my glove. It just means you have my system. You still need to take my system, which I've done all the hard work, and now you need to tweak it for you. I'm okay taking trades on companies up to $3,000 plus on an Amazon. You may go, whoa, Rob, dude, I ain't got that kind of green to pay for an option, so I think I'll cap mine off at that $200 level. That's okay. You see, you took my system and you tweaked it to make it your system. All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It is critical. It is key that you build out a trading system, and you want a winning trading system. The only way to do it that I have been able to find is to build it out utilizing what I call strategy creation system, SCS. You've got great options trading strategies out there. They won't work without having a good system. You've got great day trading option strategies. They will not work without having a good system. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, you have yourself a great rest of your day. Stay focused on the quest to becoming a great trader. Keep crushing it. And remember, you're just one trade away. I'll see all of you at the next podcast. Hey, folks, make sure you go ahead and like us, subscribe to us, get on the RSS feeds, download it, come check it out at the website. We've got the podcast there as well. And I'll see all of you at the next update. Take care then. See you soon. Bye. Thanks for listening to our podcast, The Stock Market Millionaire. Now, we release a new episode every single week, which you can find wherever you get your podcast from. While you're here, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click below to check out some of the free trading resources that I've put together just for you.